RLCRAFT Dregora is anything but kind to you. It's RLCRAFT, but even harder. Now I'm going to tell you guys how you can beat it. No, I'm not actually going to tell you how to beat it. I'm going to give you the noob's rundown on how to beat RLCRAFT. I don't know why I just said beat, because I'm not going to tell you how to beat it. So if you guys are looking for the pro speed run hardcore strat of this is not the video for you. However, if you've never played RLCRAFT Dregora before and you want to know how to get started, I'm going to tell you how. The first step is to die. I spawned in probably one of the worst spots you can spawn, in one of these crevices. Now the thing about RLCRAFT Dregora is there's actually a fixed map, or I guess fixed map. There are fixed locations on the map that will generate the same every time, and this area is one of them. There are like these branches that branch out from the center of the map, and these are said branches. If you follow them in one direction or the other, you will find the center of the map. However, these areas are extremely dangerous, as you can tell by all the lava. If you guys are just starting out and you're wanting to learn how to play RLCRAFT Dregora, I would recommend dying until you find a village, and specifically a village with a Fletcher. Those are the ones that trade string for emeralds, I'm pretty sure. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, I don't know if this is entirely true, because I've only done a little bit of experimenting with it, but every time I die, I spawn in a random spot. However, the random spot is close-ish to the center. It's not entirely random, like within a 50,000 block radius. It's within like a 2 or 5,000 block radius, so not too bad. All right, I found a village that trades string for emeralds. We're gonna set up shop here. I don't think that these villages have waystones in them. It might somewhere. Waystones allow you to set your spawn and they don't break. Because in RLCRAFT, if you break your spawn and you die, you respawn in a random location. So it's important to have a waystone usually. I saw a villager that trades string for emeralds. So we'll set up shop here for now. There's a bed already, so we can... Oh, nope, there's a waystone. Awesome. All right, now that we have a village, we can actually get into a detailed tutorial. Alright, so starting off, there are a few tips I'm going to give you guys. So, first of all, literally anything in this game can kill you. Whether it's like the passive animals like sheep, if you attack them, they will attack you back and kill you. Breaking plants like this and like this can spawn Lycanite's enemies, and those things kill you really easily. These pools here with unique potion effects, these things kill you, they spawn Lycanite's enemies, so it's actually pretty dangerous having these things so close to this village here, because a lot of the Lycanite's enemies attack the villages. So for a lot of this beginning stuff here, you can skip a lot of this, because these villages will give you access to cobblestone and crafting tables, so you don't need to go through like the flint phase. However, if you guys want to know how to do it, I will still explain it. There was no gravel in my area anywhere, so I got a flint thing so I can show you what you do. Once you break gravel and get flint, you find a stone block like this andesite here, and you right click it and it drops flint shards. Now there are two ways you can pick up items in RLCRAFT. You can right click the item, or you can crouch and click on it. This is something that was pointed out in my last RLCRAFT guide. It's something that I just have done all the time and didn't even think that that's not a regular Minecraft feature. So once you pick up your flint, you now need to break some leaves, and these trees are actually pretty tall. But again, you got to be careful, because you don't want any Lycanite's enemies to spawn. If they do spawn, the ones that spawn from the plants are pretty weak in general, so you can usually run away if you're far enough away, but still better safe than sorry. And I'm just gonna grab a few sticks here. All right, so now you're gonna make a flint knife like so. And you're going to use the flint knife on grass to get plant fiber. 3 plant fiber makes 1 plant string, and this functions like regular string in Minecraft. You can turn it into wool, and you can make a sleeping bag. But for now, I'm going to make a flint hatchet and chop down a tree so I can start getting wood. In RLCRAFT, trees have a realistic falling mechanic, where if you chop down the base of the tree, the whole tree will fall over. If you crouch while chopping, oh, they're ironberry trees too. That's pretty good. For late game, or I guess not even late game, but yeah, you can make iron skin potions, which is awesome. Yeah, if you crouch while chopping down a tree, they will fall in your direction, so make sure you're not crouching, because it will kill you if it falls on you, so gotta be really careful. Alright, so you can't craft planks or sticks in RLCRAFT. You have to place your wood on a solid surface and right click it with your axe to get the planks, and then you gotta place your planks on a surface and right click to get the sticks. I'm gonna keep getting some plant fiber here so I can make a sleeping bag. Alright, so craft the plant string and then craft the wool, and then I also made a crafting table, and I will make a sleeping bag like so. Now it's turning night. The nighttime is very dangerous. Enemies are in my opinion, harder than RLCRAFT, so you're most likely gonna die. So you just want to sleep through the night, and you can do that using a sleeping bag. The sleeping bag does not set your spawn, so you can break it and move around freely. And what you guys may notice is I took a lot of damage because I accidentally touched these pools. Yeah, they poison you. And sleeping restores half of your max health, so it's a great way to heal, because in RLCRAFT you don't heal by natural means. You need like bandages or nymphs to heal you. We'll get to nymphs later on in the video if I don't see any up until then, but yeah, so let's continue on. So we can also skip wood tools by picking up rocks. You can right click them, or you can break them and pick them up. But yeah, then once you get 4 rocks, you can turn it into cobblestone, and then you can start making some cobblestone tools. I honestly don't know why all of my villagers are in the water. Low-key pretty annoying. Alright, but yeah, I'm gonna use my stone pickaxe to get some more stone. In RLCRAFT, breaking regular stone doesn't drop cobblestone, but it does drop rocks, so you can just craft more. Alright, we got some coal here, so I am going to break this. It'll give me some XP. One thing to note, though, like I said, pretty much anything can kill you. Mining can kill you in RLCRAFT. It can spawn enemies. So you got to be careful again, stay far away. I believe the enemies that spawn from coal and iron ore are pretty slow, so if you're far enough away, you can just kind of run away. We'll come back to why XP is important later on, but for now, I am just going to get these levels. Those villagers, don't touch them. They'll kill you. Don't touch them. Alright, now that we made our stone tools, we can start on the next phase. So the next phase is getting settled. We kind of want to get familiar with our house here. You can go around and loot it and get some stuff if you want. Like these torches here, these torches are pretty good. So if you make torches in RLCRAFT, they burn out eventually and you need to light them. However, these regular Minecraft vanilla torches, which you can't craft regularly, they stay lit forever. So they're pretty nice, and if you break them, they don't become unlit. So yeah, just kind of become familiar with the base you chose and stuff like that. Do some looting. Got some food here too. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to make your sleeping bag. And I have peaceful mode on, so I haven't started losing any water or thirst or whatever. So I got kind of unlucky. I had to go kind of far to find this sand just because I'm in a swamp biome. But yeah, what you want to do now is get like 3 sand. You can get more if you want, but you need at least 3. Make a furnace, and this is just because you can start purifying water using a furnace. If you try to drink water regularly, and I can't show you because I have full thirst, but if you crouch and then right click water, you will drink it. But if you don't drink purified water, then you might get parasites and you might get thirsty, which means your thirst degrades faster. So it's better to drink purified water, and you can do that. I mean, if you have a lot of leather, you can make a canteen, which is this. I find cows very hard to find, so I just use bottles. So yeah, craft your bottles and then just find a water source and fill them up and then throw them back in your furnace. I will come back to a way that you can get purified water from a renewable source, but for now, this is how you do it. So yeah, once you kind of have all that, you're kind of good with getting settled. Now we can start making some progress here. So the first step here is to make a stone saber, which I actually can't do because, like I said, I don't have flint around here, and I used my flint thing. So I'm gonna get ballsy here, and if maybe they won't attack me if I have peaceful mode on, but they might. Okay, yeah, it does. So yeah, sheep attack, and they attack in hordes. So I'm going to run away and hope they de-aggro, because I will actually need these sheep later. I'm going to hope they de-aggro. Why do they all have 1 HP? What the heck? Okay, yeah, but you need string. I'm sorry, but really quick, this is an awesome chest. We'll come back to the atlas later, but a very important thing to have. Okay, you also need a stick and then 3 cobblestone. So to craft a saber, you do this. You have to craft a handle first using a stick and string, and then you use 3 cobblestone and put them in this pattern to craft a saber. And the reason why you want a saber is because you get a 25% damage reduction, and when you take that 25% damage, it goes to the saber instead of you, so you can survive just a little bit longer. Next up, you want to craft a stone shield. So first, you craft a regular wooden shield by using 6 wood of any kind and then a stick in the middle, and then you can instantly upgrade it to a stone shield by placing 4 cobblestone around it, and boom, now you have some defense and ways to kill things. Now next up is arguably gonna be the most important step, setting up a sheep breeder. Now this thing will boost your progress in RLCRAFT by so much, so get this started as early as possible, and it's gonna be pretty boring, but it'll just help you get advanced so fast. So what you want to do is you want to build it underground too, because lycan enemies spawn at night and they'll kill your sheep. So build it underground. So wait, I hope that grass. Oh yeah, okay, there's grass, so we can get grass growing here. It'll be kind of hard to build in a swamp, but we should still be able to do it. So yeah, build it underground so Lycanite's enemies can't kill the sheep. And yeah, I'll just get that set up really quick. So this is a very crude example of how you would make a sheep breeder. You'd probably want this to be bigger for sure, because you want as many sheep as you can get. You'll be shearing them for wool, and then also you can kill them if you want, but you don't really want to do that for food. So yeah, just breed them. It'll give you XP too, so pretty nice. And you just want to keep breeding them. You want as many as you can get. Also, make sure your grass can grow down here, because when you shear them, they will only regrow if they can eat grass. So you want to make sure it can grow all the way around your pen so you can maximize grass growth. Yes, it's already growing, so good. It'll just take a while. Like I said, you just got to be patient, but in the long run, it'll be so worth it. Just trust me. Next up, you want to do a little bit of exploration around your base. Maybe find some coal and some iron. I'm actually going to get to mining level 5 really quick. That's kind of the first thing. I'll go more over skills in a minute, but for now, go to your inventory, close the crafting, and go to skills, and then just get mining to level 4 as soon as you can. I'm probably going to need to go break some more coal. But yeah, just do some exploring around your base. Go out a little bit farther than what you might have done in the beginning. And this is actually a really good example of why you want to do that. First of all, there is a house here, which is going to have some loot in it, but also some enemies, so you got to be careful. But yeah, just right over the lake here, there is another village. This one also has a waystone. There's also a chest in here. A lot of these abandoned structures have loot in them, which is pretty nice. But yeah, we got another village right here. There is a waystone down inside here. These villages are pretty good. Oh, they kill villagers. Gosh dang it. Also, coal generates in these villages, so I can get some XP. All right, now that my mining is level 4, I should be able to mine some iron ore. Yes, I can. Yeah, these structures kind of generate everywhere. They got chests on them. Not all the time, but sometimes they do. And this one has a luck potion, which luck potion is pretty good. Keep an eye out for these stone structures that generate as well. Yes, this one has some, because sometimes they can have a lot of iron ore in them. So good way to get iron ore is just like finding a forest and getting these stone structures. And then yeah, there's another village over here. This house, not too great loot, more just for enemies, because there are monster spawners. But yeah, we got another one of these villages right here. So kind of freaking awesome. But I believe there's a dragon over there, so I gotta be careful. Alright, so now that you've done some exploring, hopefully maybe you've gotten some levels from like mining coal or maybe farming, I don't know. Now you could start doing like some leveling up. So like I said earlier, there is this skills menu here where you can start putting some XP into skills. Generally, defense is the most important. It'll allow you guys to start getting some iron armor once you get to level 8. Then you kind of want to go to attack and then mining level 8, so that way you can go iron weapons and then iron tools. Also, when you get to level 5, you can press L on your keyboard and it will open some ways you can get XP here. You definitely want to go combat so you can get more XP from mobs. That'll be way beneficial in the long run. And then as you can see, you can put some more XP into enchanting. This is a little bit more later game just because like it's a lot of levels. But yeah, you can get iron skin, which increases defense. You can get random quits and melee damage, more arrow damage. It's pretty good. But yeah, just so you know, that is there. You should definitely get mining to level 4 first and foremost though. That way you can get some iron so we can start making some iron gear like a bucket or shears and a cauldron. There might be a cauldron here, but a cauldron is and a bucket is what's needed to make an infinite water purifying source. However, I've already looked around in my area. There's no lava. Oh, there is a cauldron right here. There's no lava in my area, so that'll definitely be a little bit down the road. If you guys do find lava, though, I will show you how to make an infinite water purifying source right now. So yeah, just set up an infinite water source like you normally would. Place down a single bucket of lava and then the cauldron on top of the lava. Then when you place water inside the cauldron, okay, it didn't bubble. Sometimes it won't bubble. If it doesn't bubble, just place a block right next to it and then it will start bubbling. That means the water is purified and you can start using bottles to get purified water bottles. If you want to keep using the furnace, you can, but this is just a way to do it infinitely. Next up, using the wheat and the iron you have, make yourself a pair of shears, which are right here, and start just, again, breeding your sheep like no tomorrow. Just keep breeding. Just keep breeding. We need all the sheep we can get. Then, once you have a lot, or I mean, you can do it right away as soon as possible, shear them, get their wool, and then you can turn their wool into string. Oh, also, I'll talk about healing right now, because you can use the wool and string to heal as well. So in RLCRAFT, if I click H, what you will see here is the head and body health. If your head or body go to 0, even when you still have more life, you die instantly. So it's very important to keep healed. So you can make a bandage or 2 bandages by placing a block of wool in the middle and then 2 string on the side. And then what you do is you right click and you can apply it to any body part. If I apply it to my head, you can see that I have to hold it down for a certain amount of time, and then it will heal me to full on that body part over time. It takes time to heal, so you got to be careful about that. Oh, I do got to get my gathering to level 2, I think. Yeah, okay. Gathering to level 2 to use the shears. But yeah, you definitely want to do this trading string for emerald strat to get XP. It'll just be so nice. It'll just be so nice in the long run. You don't have to go around killing things. You don't die. You just sit here, you breed your sheep, you get your string, and then you trade for emeralds. Which one of you dudes trades? You. Okay, yeah. So how much do you get a pretty good amount of XP, right? Yeah. I think that's more than you get from like mining coal or something. And on top of that, you can like trade for other things. Like you can trade tools from other villagers by using your emeralds. So it's pretty awesome strat. Oh, also, I could give you some tips for trading. So you only need to trade once to level up. So for example, I just traded 1 trade and then he leveled up here. If you want to keep leveling up, you just have to trade once on the tier before the one that is going to appear next, if that makes any sense at all. So yeah, and then if trades don't refresh, you might have to trade. So like if you're getting emeralds, you might have to do a trade where you give him emeralds in order for his trades to refresh. Also, leveling up will refresh his trades. So from here, you're just gonna keep doing this and get your attack and defense and mining to level 8. It'll take a while, but just trust me. Just trust me, it's worth it. One more thing before I move on, there is the Lycanites menu here. You'll be able to see like the creatures you found and run into. You'll just be able to get some information on them. We'll be coming back to that later, so just make a note of that. Once you do that, you can equip some iron armor, and you can also upgrade your tools and your saber to iron. So I don't know if it's still here, but I killed an enemy in the swamp earlier that dropped a slime ball. And one thing you can make that's very useful is a grapple hook. It's gone, dang it. Okay, I think they spawn somewhat frequently, so maybe I can find another one. But if you somehow get a slime ball, dang it, just poisoned myself. If you somehow get a slime ball, you can make a lead, and then you can make a grapple hook. If you can't do that, that's fine. It's just something useful. We'll come back to it later, though, because we will end up using it later. But there is a guaranteed way to get slime, so... Next up, it's time to start doing some basic exploring. Now that we're pretty tough and we have a pretty good spawn set up, and we should maybe even have some backup gear, it's time to do some exploring. There are some pretty important structures to make note of. Alright, cutting in from the future here, and there's a dragon, so I gotta be fast. But villages with libraries that look specifically like this are very good. White coats aren't always librarians, but sometimes they are. There will always be white coats in this building. There will be a chest off to one side. There can be enchanted books in there. If you go into this dude's area and flip this button, that will open up and there will be a chest under there. It's locked. There's a wooden lock, but there will be enchanted books in there. Pretty awesome. Up the staircase, there is a chest right here, and there's enchanted books in here as well. A fiery edge 2. Or that's just fiery edge 1. Okay. There will also be another villager up here. This one's a librarian. Not a good enchantment, but whatever. And then there will also be a chest with some books in here as well. This is a windmill. This is also a village. It doesn't have a waystone, but there are a lot of villagers here, as you can see, and then also a very nice way to get a ton of wheat, and there's also some loot inside. These dark oak villages don't have waystones, but there are a lot of villagers here and some really good loot. These 2 first floor chests usually have good loot. Those ones don't. You can go up the stairs, and then each of these bedrooms have loot. Don't forget these chests behind the stairs. Up on the 3rd floor, there are a couple rooms with some loot as well. This one's really good. There are a lot of books in here. There's also this chest here. You can go up and find some crates with some loot as well. But what really makes these important is if you go into the room underneath the stairs and you right click the middle carpet, you will find a secret area here, and you can also find XP tomes, but unfortunately it looks like there might be a structure that ruined it. Nope. Okay, right click one of the candles, and then in one of these bookcases there will be an XP tome, and there will be 2 of them. And XP tomes are really important because they allow you to store your levels, so if you die, you don't lose those levels. Pretty awesome, pretty important. Underground village mine things are very overpowered. They're signified by like these houses that I think have to spawn above ground. You can descend by going down here, or maybe you'll get lucky and part of the structure will generate above ground like this. Now, these things are extremely extensive. There is a lot to explore, but chests can have some pretty dang loot, and there are a ton of villagers. I've explored them on my Minecraft series, my Dregora series, if you want to go check that out. But I'm not going to explore the whole thing, but there are crafting runes, there's diamond gear, there are librarian villagers, so you might get some good enchantments, but these things are just gigantic. They go on forever. Literally, I think it took me like 2 hours, maybe a little less, maybe a little more to loot. But why are all these guys... All these guys are fishermen. If you guys manage to explore over the ocean, you guys have a chance of finding these kingdom villages. These things are really good, of course, because there are a ton of villagers in loot, but there is also a guaranteed mending villager here. All you have to do is find this castle and then find the waystone, which is on the direct opposite side. So if you find the castle and go straight south, for example, you guys will find the waystone. It's pretty hard to showcase this because some of it burned down, but yeah, it'll be here. Then, depending on your orientation, you will go to the opposite side of the castle. So in this case, my castle is on the right, so I'm gonna go towards my left here, and then I'm gonna go back through here, keep going back, and then the villager will be in this house on the right. Now, I've modified this house because, by the way, this is a duplicate of my survival world. It's not my survival world, but yeah, I wanted to make sure my mending villager was safe. And here he is, 26 emeralds every single time, mending. There you go. These suspiciously shaped towers you can find when exploring. Not sure if they spawn in specific biomes, but I've seen them in all biomes. They have diamond, gold, iron, and chainmail armor in them. They won't be out in the open like this. I think they're under like the chest or furnaces. They're in the floor, so you just kind of have to find them. But most of the time, for some reason, these spawn in the sky, and the armor will drop down and just be in the open. So yeah, there you go. I don't know if I'm actually naming these villages right. I'm just calling them based on what they look like. But yeah, these fort villages have pretty good loot. It's pretty compressed, which makes it pretty easy to explore. A lot of loot, a lot of villagers. Once you get in, you actually have to get inside. There will be an iron trap door here. You can just break it and fall down. There'll be some armorers here you can trade with. There'll be some loot. If you keep going around, there will be a waystone right here. You can set your spawn. You can go up and there will be topographers here that will give you directions to things, or you can go down. This one might be exploded. It is. I may or may not have clicked a sussy Byron or Brian. Sussy, I don't know. I clicked someone that was very deadly. You. I think it was you. Yeah, it blew up. But you can keep going down. You'll have to break your way down, but once you do, there will be some illagers down here you can kill to get more emeralds, and then there'll just be a little bit more loot. Battle towers, they look like this. We'll come back on how to loot these later on. Again, you still don't want to be doing these for XP. They're going to be way too hard. Super battle towers, I don't know if this is what they're called, but I call them super battle towers. They look like this. They essentially look like 4 big battle towers stuck together. Now, these things are very, very hard. Definitely not for beginners, but they have pretty good loot in them, so it's just important to make a note of them. I call these things bauble battle towers just because in these main towers, there are some pretty good baubles you can get sometimes. And one thing about these is, again, they will be extremely hard to do in the beginning stages of the game. And also, there are magical things that prevent you from breaking blocks, so you can't cheese them. You actually have to go in and fight the monsters, so they are pretty deadly, but they can have some good loot. Make a note of them. I don't know if I also got super unlucky with my world generation, but for some reason, lost cities generate everywhere in my world. These things are extremely dangerous. Do not go near them. There can be some good loot, but you will die. Lost City's enemies are very, very deadly. They just destroy and kill everything, so beware. And most of the time, the loot isn't even that good. Like, that's decent, but not great. It's yeah, it can be worth it. It can be worth it, don't get me wrong. But most of the time, it's not. So early stages, especially if you don't have a rock, just stay away from them. Just stay away from them. The big skibbity. What? What does this even do? And then I think those are pretty much the most noteworthy structures. Again, RLCRAFT Dregora probably has more to explore. Like, if it's big, chances are it's important. So just keep that in mind. While exploring, you can make an atlas, which is this thing in here that I talked about earlier. This thing right here. Basically, if you right-click, it creates a pretty detailed map of the area around you, and you can add markers like this. I can add a home marker. It'll just make exploring way easier, and you can hold it in your offhand. Also, if you have 2 atlases, you can combine them in crafting. Like, you put one here and then the other one here, and they'll give you 2 atlases, and they'll be the same atlas, and they'll update too. Like, you can put one in a chest and it will update based on this atlas, which is pretty awesome. Now, one thing about exploring is a lot of houses have traps in them. Like, if you just find a random house in the middle of nowhere and you walk into it and there's a chest, chances are that chest is going to try to kill you. And then also houses like these, I believe they're like enemy spawners. If I can get up, is there a way to get up here? Yeah, a witch spawner, not good. These are actually pretty good for XP. Early on, you probably want to break these for XP and loot as opposed to fighting witches, because they do quite a bit of damage. So, like, this isn't trapped, but you got to be careful of trap chests because they're everywhere. Also, exploring should help you guys find diamonds. Diamonds are pretty common in a lot of structures. They're very useful crafting. You should also find ender pearls. I mean, we found an ender pearl over here. Ender pearl, boom, very useful to have, and I'll explain why. But yeah, once you guys start getting some diamonds from exploring, because mining is still a little tricky, once you get some ender pearls, once you get some gold, once you get some bones, once you get some leather, we can start moving on to some more advanced equipment, which is the next section. So, leather can make some pretty basic baubles, like a backpack. It can make an arrow quiver. It can make a tool belt, which can be upgraded to hold tools. All of those can be reforged with leather, and they're just baubles you can get early on. They're pretty cheap to make. You're also going to want to make something called the Soul Gazer, which is bones, diamond, and gold. You also want to make a summoning staff, which is this recipe here. And the reason why you want the Soul Gazer and summoning staff is so you can spawn a nymph, which heals you. Now, you can't just research nymphs, which unfortunately we haven't seen one, and then spawn them like you can with a lot of Lycanites enemies. You have to research an Aegis and a Jangu, which Jangus will spawn all the time here because they spawn in water at night. They are hostile, but they're not too deadly. You gotta be careful though, because they will attack your villagers. So at night, you just research them by right-clicking, and you get them to 1,000. And actually, I just realized, the reason why I know Aegises are spawning here is because it's peaceful mode. But I will show you what it looks like to research. So Jangus spawn in water at night, and then Aegises spawn in village. Is it Aegis or Aegis? I don't know. They spawn in villages. This is what they look like. They're friendly. If you attack them, they'll attack you. You just right-click with the Soul Gazer, and as you can see, I got 100 knowledge. You want to get both the Aegis and the Jangu to 1,000, and then once you do, you can summon the nymph using the summoning staff. What you do is you summon a Jangu and an Aegis, and then they will merge and then spawn a nymph. So there you go. There's a good way to get healing. So yeah, lots of helpful tips here. Again, really focus on that sheep farm. It was so beneficial for me. I used it to get all the way to diamond gear. I just kept doing it. I know it was very tedious, but doing battle towers is going to be very hard now. Like in the last guide, I said, okay, now you can start getting Umbrium and then doing battle towers, but we're gonna get into battle towers right now. It's just very hard. Battle towers are very hard. This is a weird village. Look at how many torches there are. What the heck? Alright, the next segment here is battle towers. This is what they look like. They're giant cobblestone pillars that will spawn either above ground, below ground, or they'll be ruined. This one's a regular one, and you can tell because there's no holes in the walls on the outside. And there will be chests on every level, and every level is 7 blocks. And I say this, oh, there's what a nymph looks like in case you're wondering. I say this because it's pretty important on looting these things. So you used to be able to like hop in, and you used to be able to like go to the stairs area and block it off and just kind of sit down here, and then kill them like when they weren't able to kill you. That's not the case anymore. The zombies can break blocks. So cheesing these things is pretty much impossible now. Now you can make a grappling hook with a lead and an iron pickaxe, but the problem is finding the slime to make a lead. Now if you're in a swamp like I was, it's pretty easy, but the thing is, battle towers have slime in them. Yeah, so that's an infernal enemy. We'll talk about infernal enemies in a minute. Yeah, the first floor doesn't usually have it. Yeah, so that's the first floor loot. The second floor loot doesn't have it. I think it's the third floor loot that has slime balls. Yeah, there we go. Slime balls every time. So if you can find the third floor, try and get there. You can just break in and loot that chest and then get away as soon as you can, because the monsters are going to kill you. Then you can make a grappling hook, and what this thing allows you to do is allows you to scale the outside of the battle tower without like going inside. So you can like right click and it will shoot your grapple, and then you can set your keybinds to go up or down, or you can double tap space to move up. But yeah, just remember every level is 7 blocks. So you can find the chest here, and then you can loot it from the outside. Now you gotta be careful because sometimes the monsters can see you, so you gotta be ready to bail at any second with like a water bucket or whatever. Because if a blight spawns, which is that purple enemy, the purple flame enemy that we saw earlier, those things will just kill you. And an infernal enemy, which we saw down here, which has like the potion effects, these things can also be pretty deadly. And that's perfect. It's sticky. Sticky enemies will steal your weapon if you attack it. And ghastly enemies, which that one is, will shoot fireballs at you. And choke will just drown you, which is another thing that has. Sapper, oh my gosh, we have everything here. Blight, infernal with ghast and choke, and infernal with sticky. I could not have asked for worse enemies to be down here. Blight's so deadly. They have so much health, they move extremely fast, and they do a lot of damage. So yeah, these are about the worst enemies we could have gotten down here. Kind of perfect. But yeah, so you just kind of want to like scale the battle tower by right clicking and locking it on. And you just kind of want to remember where you are and move 7 blocks up. So 1, 2, 3, 7. And we should be able to break in here and see a chest. Yes, we can. And you could just do this all the way up. You might have to bail quite a bit, especially because we got a cave spider here, which has choke. However, if I hit it, it should teleport. Nope, that's okay. I didn't want it to anyways. But yeah, so I'm gonna do this and just keep going up. Keep going up. I don't remember exactly where I am. I might need to go down a little bit. Yeah, I do need to go down. You can get some really good loot out of these chests, though. Oh, you know what? Actually, I just kind of thought of something right now while making this video. You can just kind of do this all the way up. Be careful when getting to the top floor, though. And then you can just go down. That way you don't need to keep doing the... Oh, nope, there is a limit. Okay. So yeah, we got some emerald rings, which is a good bauble. It's not a good bauble, but it's a bauble. Got some lapis blocks, which is good for enchanting. You can smelt the diamond wolf armor into diamonds. I think it gives like 5 diamonds. It's pretty awesome. Here's a really good chest. You can see you can get some really freaking good loot out of these. Now, when you get to the top 2 floors, you got to be really careful here. You'll know you're at the top 2 floors if you can just see it's the top 2 floors, or if you hear those cave sounds in the background. You can't hear them. They're just very quiet. Now, basically, if I try to open this chest, it's going to anger the battle tower golem, and he shoots fireballs that do a ton of damage and will just destroy the battle tower. So what you can do is you can place a hopper beneath it, and the loot will funnel out into the hopper, and you can loot the hopper freely without angering the battle tower golem. If there's a lock, you can still unlock it without angering the golem. Make sure not to open the chest after you do that, or you will die. Now, looting the top one is going to be a little bit more difficult, because if I was to do something like this and break inside here and maybe take down those spawners so enemies stop spawning, sometimes the battle tower golem can see you. Like, this is a very bad example because I just broke the block and have a direct line of sight, but sometimes I'll be right underneath it and it'll have no line of sight on me and it will still aggro. So you got to be really careful, and you got to be ready to bail. It might be smart to break the spawners, come at daytime here and break these spawners so there's no enemies up here, because you got to be ready to bail out of here, because you'll die. You will just die. But the loot is really good. I'm gonna open this. Actually, I think if I switch it to peaceful, I might be able to open this. Yeah, okay, you despawn and then I can open it, because like, look at the loot you get. Diamond blocks, ender pearls, diamonds. And here you get some a potion ring and some diamonds. So you can get some really good baubles out of these. This was a pretty bad battle tower. But yeah, you do not want to be doing this for the XP, because the enemies will most likely kill you. You want to get diamond gear minimum before you start doing these battle towers. But yeah, you can get like level 30 enchanting from the cheap things. So what I recommend you do is you start cheesing these battle towers for loot, get some diamond gear, and then you start enchanting by using the sheep farm for XP. You want to get to diamond armor first, and then you can start working on weapons. I would still recommend using a diamond saber, but your main thing you want is like sharpness 5 or supreme sharpness if you have it, and then lifesteal. Lifesteal is really good. It'll help doing... Oh, I'm gonna get struck by lightning. Now, if you carry too much metal, you'll get struck by lightning. You can also get a Bezor out of this, or a Bezor, I don't know how you say it. From the cave spiders, they drop Bezors, which make you immune to poison, which can just make doing battle towers so easy. So, if you can, kill cave spiders, but it should not be a priority, because you might die. You'll probably die. So I think I've gone over everything I could have gone over. I don't think there's any more tips I could have given. The comment section will give you tips if they think that tips should be given. But yeah, really, it's just exploring is important and doing that sheep farm strat. Trust me, dude. Trading string for emeralds, it's awesome for XP. Trading for emeralds, you want to find a village. You'll just get loot early on and you'll be able to get XP early on when it would be really hard any other way. So just do the strat, just trust me. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you guys have a request for an RLCRAFT Dregora guide, leave it down in the comments, because a lot of the guides I've done still apply to Dregora. So I'll link the playlist down in the description. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys all later. Maybe check out my playthrough. So yeah, okay, bye.